morning. Wow. You can feel the energy in this room. It is always a pleasure to come here. It's always a pleasure to be quite honest with you because I live 5 minutes from here. I always like to go sit around Plaza. It's exciting. I want to thank you all. Everyone here, some of I've met for the first time, a lot of people that I've known, for your energy, your passion, and most importantly, your advocacy. Because as you know, at the State House, nothing happens because it happens. It happens because there's a push to make it happen. And I can't think of an organization that pushes harder and is more effective. Since I've been speaker in the last 5 years, there's been great strides made in meeting a lot of the goals and a lot of the shared vision and our shared vision. I want to acknowledge my colleagues who serve with me, who make it possible, who are also advocates and champions for all of you at the Economic Progress Institute. I want to start with Teresa Tanzi, Rebecca Kislak, Tina Spears. Whether it's health insurance or smoking at Bally's Casino or any of the economic policy initiatives, Teresa's right there. Not far behind her in the healthcare field is Rebecca Kislak. And don't start talking to me about the DD community and direct support professionals, because nobody does it better than Tina Spears. And she had a great effect. I want to talk about some of the great things that we've done together, which was finally eliminating payday lending. I want to give Karen Mazzocchi a shout out. We worked extremely hard for many years. In a very short time, payday lending will not exist here in Rhode Island. And that has been a priority for this organization for as long as I can remember. It will help protect struggling Rhode Islanders from getting caught in a cycle of borrowing at excessively high rates. We've expanded family leave. One of the first bills I supported the temporary caregivers, and we increased that this year. Not only do we increase the number of weeks, we increase the rate as well. And that's because people deserve the right to take care of their family and be able to come back and to their job and not worry about losing their job and be supported while they can with their own money, by the way. Thank you very much. I want to thank Representative Giraldo, who worked very hard, and Whip Kazarian on that issue. Child care. Let's talk about what we've done in child care. That is always a priority in the House. I know she's not here today, but I'd be amiss not to recognize Grace Diaz, who continues to fight for the CCAP. Affordable accessible child care is critical, not only to the working families of Rhode Island, but for our economy.
That's right.
Because we need them in the workforce. I was proud to work with Mary Ann Shawcross Smith to give free child care to child care workers so they can go to work, so that all of us can go to work. I'm proud as the Speaker. Every year that I have been Speaker, every budget that we passed has increased the investment in Medicaid for our seniors, our children, our individuals with disabilities, and working families. We took last year, at a considerable expense of over $40 million, the first steps necessary to invest in primary care physicians, to making sure that we have enough doctors to treat us. I want to tell you that it's not an easy task when you're divvying up state funding, but with our hospital systems, our nursing home systems, and our primary care doctors, we're at a tipping point. Some people said we should study it. That's fine, we should study it. But we're not going to wait for the study. We need to take action now and study it. We can do two things at the same time and do them well. I want to give a shout out. I saw her on the way in, Maureen Maybert, former state representative who continues in Calcutta as a senior coalition agenda last year. Maureen worked on a Medicaid program for 14 years. And we passed it last year to help us 14 years. That's the kind of thing. And some of the time sometimes your achievements aren't on bills that you have done, it's bills that we didn't pass. And there was an effort by some people, I'm going to just say in a nice way, a little bit of a misguided effort to lower taxes for retirement income on some of the wealthiest of Rhode Islanders. And a lot of people didn't understand it, and they signed on to it. So what do? What do I do? Do I call Ghostbusters? No. I called Dr. Alan Pritzky. And I said, I called him over. I said, Al, I need your help. He understood it. He understands tax policy better than most of my members, including me. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you that. And he went to work on it. And all of a sudden, all that support for that bill that would not have done a lot of good things dissipated. And Alan, I want to give you, I can't, and I'm looking around the room, I don't see you, raise your hand. I want to say thank you. Thank you. When it's out, don't vote Ghostbusters, vote Dr. Alan Pritzky. We've done remarkable things. We made a promise scholarship permanent, a hope scholarship to make sure that every Rhode Islander has an opportunity to. Because of her advocacy, we've increased funding to RIPTA, not as much as she wanted to, but we're going to continue to fight the fight. I want to give Nicole Laughlin a shout out wherever she is. She fights very hard. Yes, way in the back there. And I mentioned Tina Spears, but I will tell you it was through her efforts and Julie Casimiro. When I say efforts, that's being polite. Through their harassment. Through their constant, and it was before this was a rep. I would come out of the bathroom and they'd be waiting for me. I'd open the door and they'd be waiting for me. I'd get notes on my car and they'd be waiting for me. I'd see them at a social event. And because of Tina Spears' efforts and Julie Casimiro, we were able to raise our rates. And not only raise it, they wanted, the proposal was over a 3-year period of time, we raised it all in 1 year. Because direct support professionals needed. And I want to talk in closing about housing, because housing is near and dear to me, but it's near and dear to all of you. And I know we talked a little bit about the tax, the second home tax. I don't want to put a person's name into that because there's connotations to that I know a lot of people like to call it a certain tax, but it's for people who have more than 2 homes in Rhode Island or non-occupied homes. And we need to make sure that they pay their fair share, and it will go directly to support low-income tax credits for Rhode Islanders. The housing crisis is not over by any stretch of the imagination. We have made strides over the last 5 years. Through my colleagues who I mentioned and others who are here in the General Assembly, we passed over 50 new laws, almost 60, to help make housing more affordable. And we're going to continue to act. And last year, mostly through Teresa Tanzi's effort, we passed an expedited approval process for the pallet shelter homes, because they weren't getting done. They were being tied up because of a fire code issue. The House took action right away because it needed it. And we're going to continue to do that. I pledge honestly and openly to work with each and every one of you on every issue. Your advocacy means everything to getting most important bills passed. And let's not keep our eye off the ball. And sadly, we have to be very cognizant. The next 48 hours, we can go into a government shutdown. That will have a dramatic impact. We don't like, let me speak for myself, I don't like what's going on in Washington. I'm sure all of you don't like what's going on in Washington. But sadly, let me tell you this, what happens in Washington has a direct impact on what happens in Rhode Island. And if we go into a government shutdown for the next 48 hours, it will be catastrophic in the medium term. Can we survive a week? Yes, we can. But unfortunately, I don't think it'll be a week. And I don't think it'll be temporary. I think it'll be long-term, and I think there could be systemic damages to our state and to the people who need it the most. So let's not forget that. Let's work together. I thank you. I appreciate your advocacy, and I look forward to continuing to work with you in any capacity the future shall hold. Thank you very much.